Thank you very much for inviting me to speak here this afternoon. You as entrepreneur leaders are managing 136 different things at once. And the degree to which you can actually focus on 6 key components, everything falls into place. The first key component is what we call the vision component. This is getting the vision out of your head, aligned with your leadership team, who you surround yourself with, and perpetuate to your entire organization. The second component is what we call the people component. You can have the best product and service, you can have the best market, you can have the best funding, but if you don't have the right people, you're going to never make that vision a reality. The third component is what we call the data component. This cuts through egos, subjectivity, stories, personalities, and puts your finger on the pulse of what's happening at any given moment in the business. We can see what's working and what's not, and who's working and possibly who's not. And that's when our next component, our fourth component, comes up, which is called the issues component. Your success is direct proportion to your ability to actually identify the things that need to be solved in the business and then prioritize and solve those. So we call that our issues component, setting them up, knocking them down, and making them go away forever. The fifth thing is once you get the issues solved, you want to put some processes in your business. This is your franchise model. This is your ability to say, this is my way of doing business. The sixth one is what we call traction. And sometimes traction is the weakest component of the 6. And the saying we have is vision without traction is just a hallucination. You're never going to get there unless you can execute. So this is about accountability, execution, and the discipline to make that happen. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the people component. So I'm going to take one of the 6 components and kind of dig in to show you. The question is, how do we define right people for us, our organization? And then once we define that, how do we get them in the right seats? We want to match the person's skill set, and we do that by matching them to an accountability chart. So we believe that all major companies have 3 major functions. They have to have sales and marketing. You have to be able to sell and market your product and service. You have to have operations. You have to manufacture and deliver your product and service. And then you have finance. You have to account for monies in, monies out. And typically in finance, we have human resources and internal IT and kind of corporate governance. Now above that is this title we call an integrator. The integrator is somebody that harmoniously integrates all these functions to work together. They see the big picture. And then above that, 50% of the time, we have this other thing called a visionary. They're coming up with the ideas, the R&D, right? So what we want to do is we want to say, do they get it? And you can see the bullet points. Do all their neurons connect? Do they get the ins and outs of the position? The next one is, do they want it? We can't pay somebody to be motivated. They have to be self-motivated. And do they have the capacity to do the job? Capacity is the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual ability to do that job. So we need to make sure that each person on the leadership team GWCs their position. Once we get that, we can ask them to go and build out their team to deliver those 5 key roles and responsibilities. And then they can in turn GWC each of their positions. I just want to say thank you, and I'm happy to, again, help. So if I can help in any way, please let me know.